we would like to welcome you to our April 7th, 2022 regular board meeting. So happy to see all of you here.
Visitors are always welcome at our board meetings. If you wish to address the board, please complete the form provided upon arrival at the meeting and give it to the treasurer. Oral presentations are limited to 3 minutes each. So that the meeting may proceed uninterrupted, please silence all electronic devices. Thanks on behalf of the school.
Thank you, Brandon. Yes, we have roll call, please.
Mrs. Boynton?
Here.
Mrs. Birch?
Here.
Mr. Eakins? Here. Mrs. Macklin?
Here.
Mr. Lifford?
Here.
Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Well, on our agenda tonight is one of my special, I love these, I love awards and presentation. I love seeing the students being recognized for all of their hard work in the sports that they are participating in. So on the agenda, awards, presentations, and communication, 2.01, 2.02, 2.03, and I'll turn it over now to our interim superintendent, Dr. Johnson.
Good evening, Board President, Vice President, and board members. It really is indeed a great night. It really brings us back to why we're here, and it is all about our scholars. So I know that we are so excited. We talk a lot about so many other things, but at the end of the day, we're here for you. And so we need to make sure that we take the time to show our appreciation for our students that go above and beyond in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And just, you know, you work very hard to achieve your short-term goals and your long-term goals, as well as those that are in your life to help you achieve those goals. As I call your name, I will ask our interim principal, Ms. Lewis, to assist in passing out maybe some certificates. But as I call the student athlete's name, if you could please come forward. And we will also ask anyone that is with you tonight to also stand. And I think Denise, he is here, and she'll take a photo as well, and I'm sure you guys might want to take some photos. But we'll start out with Trent Thomas. In recognition of his accomplishments at the state level of qualifying for wrestling. I know there's a lot of dedication and time, not that it's not tough for all athletes, but when we talk about those single sport athletes, I know it's very, very tough, and the dedication that, and I keep hearing about you, so congratulations. Come on up, Mom. Come on up, Mom. Mom, come on up, please. Picture, Mom. Come on. Next, we will have Sierra Bridgeforth, girls bowling district qualifier. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. I won't even tell you how horrible of a bowler I am, but little bit biased here, Ms. Birch will tell you. They're cheerleaders. Huge accomplishment of you making it to the state, but then in also doing so well. I don't think people also know how difficult your sport is and the dedication. I will tell you that in coming out to a couple of your games, and our coaches do a really great job. So I just want to thank our coaches as well as our parents in terms of your time and dedication that I know went into getting you down to the state competition. But as we call your name, if you could come forward for a picture. We'll go with Elena Brooks. I apologize if I'm bashing some names. Alana, I know I am about my A in my name. Cassandra. Anaya Childs. Christina Dixon. Alexander Flowers. Heaven Funches. Rihanna Hall. Asia Hill. Marquita Hill. Brianna Lee. Katie Littlejohn. Lisa Merritt. Elena Sledge. Krishana Thomas. Anaya Turner. Marissa Williams. And is it Sonia Williams? Sanaya? Picture moment. Congratulations. And last but not least, our indoor track state qualifiers. If they are here this evening, if you could please come forward. Andre Calloway. Daniel Lehman. Trayvon Trapp. And Brandon Williams. Congratulations. Again, we want to thank you for your accomplishments and your dedication inside and outside the classroom. Thank you, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you and congratulations to all of you. What would you like to say anything?
I would just like to say congratulations, a job well done during such a season, being tenacious through all that you've done, especially cheerleaders. Shout to them for an excellent season. Coach Michaela Brown and Coach Jazz, they done a wonderful job. So great job, ladies, and let's have a great season again next year.
Also want to say congratulations to everyone for doing your best in and out the classroom. It's not just doing your schoolwork, but the fact that you're able to do that and still be accomplished outside of school, on the field, on the bowling, on even cheerleading. We want to say thank you for everything that you've done, and we look forward to those that are going to be coming back next year and those that are graduating. Congratulations.
Congrats to all of you guys for the job well done. Keep up the excellent work.
I just want to say congratulations to everyone, and next year let's try to have a repeat. And all I can say is go Bearcats.
All right, next on the agenda, 2.02, awarding of diplomas.
All right, at this time, we'll have Ms. Lewis come forward for the awarding of the diplomas. I'm new to this. Can you guys hear me? It doesn't sound like it's on. Okay. Board President Boynton and Superintendent Johnson, the students receiving a Bedford High School diploma tonight have completed the course of study prescribed by the Board of Education for the Bedford High School, classed as first grade and accredited, and is therefore awarded this diploma given from Bedford, Ohio, on the 7th day of April, 2022. And now the class of 2022. Jazz Marnay Good. Jock Lewis. Being biased, I already hugged Jazz a long time ago when she first came in. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Also, thank you to our graduates. Again, I just want to congratulate you on staying the course. It's huge. I've heard so many good things and positive things. Mr. Johnson has talked about your hard work and your dedication to get across that finish line. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Good and Ms. Lewis. Ms. Good and Mr. Lewis. Perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. That's the way we do it. You hung in there, you did what you needed to do, and we're so, so proud of you.
Excellence in action is what I always say, and you two have definitely exhibited that. So congratulations. Continue moving forward in all that you do.
Congratulations and good luck on the next stage of your life.
Congratulations to both of you, and I wish you well in the rest of your life.
Yes, congratulations, a job well done, and this is the beginning now. So a lot more things ahead, all right, so keep moving forward.
Next on the agenda, 2.03, Bedford Mentoring Group.
At this time, I'll ask Mr. Dominic Rudaria to come forward. A couple of years ago, a Bedford mentoring group was established to really improve and grow our Bedford Bearcat leaders. These gentlemen and young men have really gone above and beyond. There's a lot of training involved. And so we've asked Mr. Rudaria to come forward, just kind of give you an update and let you know that the program has really continued through COVID. And so I want to thank you, Mr. Rudaria, for coming forward and sharing what's going on.
I appreciate it, Dr. Johnson. Good evening, Madam President Williamson, Vice President Burks, and Board. So yes, thank you. I want to be able to provide an update because, as Dr. Johnson said, this is a program that got started a couple years ago as a grassroots, in-house kind of beginning. And so it began as a pilot program, and we are now currently in our third year. And again, it's the Bedford Mentoring Group, goes by the BMG, which was created by the initial mentors in the program. So the name was developed, chosen by the mentors, as well as the mission and vision was developed, as well as our training handbook as well too during that first year. So 2 of our 3 years have obviously been impacted by COVID. Last year we did participate, but it was remotely. And this year we were able to get back to in-person sessions in the buildings, but not until the start of the new year because of the spikes and some of the situations that we were dealing with still. So we did not want the program to go by the wayside. So I would like to first of all name some of the mentors that first of all are participating in the program and here as well too. Jalen Clark, I believe, is here, and Antonio Thomas, Christian Davis, and Leonard Sharp, I believe I did see all here. And so if those young men could please stand real quick just to get recognized. So albeit on some short notice, they were able to make it here, their families as well. So the families have been a huge support throughout this process as well too. But I would also like to recognize Anawale Anamusi, Xavier Slocum, Samarian Rogers, Orlando Thompson, Austin Luke, Amir Hudson, Malik Baker, and Joseph Stokes as well. Those were our 12 mentors for this year, and they have maintained strong throughout this process. And right from the beginning, they were committed and they wanted to see this program through. And really, you know, at the beginning of this program, we had went and partnered with a group called Inspiration for Education to provide the training framework. So our mentors just go into the elementary buildings and meet with mentees and provide mentorship for our students in grades 2 through 6. But also we can't forget about our mentors and their ongoing growth. So Inspiration for Education helps to provide check-ins, frameworks, and then the training as well too. So they provide another layer of support for our mentors aside from myself inside the building or others that they have established trust with as well. The training days for the program typically take place in the summer. This year it was a little bit altered because of, again, the situation with COVID. But typically it's a 2-day training, 8 hours each day, and it's in person that takes place. So right off the bat, there's a commitment because that takes place in the summer. And so each of these young men were able to commit to that as well and be able to see the program through. And again, I did state the training manual itself was developed by Inspiration for Education, but then the mission and vision, which I'd like to share with you, were, along with the title, were created by our scholars and their voice. So our district mission, as everybody knows, is inspiring everyone every day to achieve excellence. And our Bedford Mentoring Group mission reads as inspiring young men to achieve excellence now and in the future. Outside our vision statement for the district, all students graduate as open-minded, responsible citizens. And our Bedford Mentoring Group vision reads, male students develop the skills necessary to be positive contributors and participants in school and the community. So we felt like that, well, the young men felt like that meshed very well with the mission, vision of our district and wanted to assimilate that. Throughout this process right now, or throughout this year, right now we're serving approximately 30 youngsters in grades 2 through 6. With plans to continue to expand. As we said, we are in our 3rd year right now of the pilot, dealing with a couple of hurdles, but moving forward for next year, we've already received approximately 30 names for juniors that we will begin to vet and make sure we have in place for the summer training that is being planned right now. And then also, that will also give us the opportunity to hopefully be able to grow the program from 12 mentors to hopefully 24 mentors or more. So again, more mentors, more mentees. Again, we can have a greater reach, a greater impact to help connect with our younger students and provide that support as they continue to grow and learn. The BMG sessions are scheduled every other week, and they are in person, like I had stated, in the building. So, and there are times where there is some flexibility. So if we need to be able to go remote, and have a student be able to meet virtually because they can't be in person, that has been accommodated as well. So again, depending on schedules and conflicts, those sessions are typically maintained and not missed. The session agendas and plans are typically developed and then shared on Google Classroom. There is some basic check-ins. The priority is always the scholar that they're meeting with. So if there's something that they are confronted with or challenged with, the agenda kind of goes by the wayside, and our mentors are there to then meet those student needs in that session, whether it be a struggle in the classroom, whether it be something personal going on at home that they want to share. Again, the mentors are there to meet the mentees' needs, but some of the topics of conversation that the agendas have developed have focused on identity and mindset. So that has been a key focus of any of the agendas, is to help our young scholars first understand what identity is and how that gets developed. And so through questioning and interaction, that has been a focus, as well as continuing to grow the mindset of our young scholars, getting them to really understand that, you know, they're not born in a fixed state, and the possibilities that learning opens up for them as far as their opportunities and experiences in life. We're also in the process of planning a spring fling upon students returning after spring break to kind of help set the rest of the year and calibrate what moving forward. There was discussion about having that previous to spring break, but then we thought receiving the students back after spring break for a social, but a bit of a structured social, to make sure that we are keeping our eyes on finishing the year stronger than we had started. We're also planning to assist, Glendale has reached out as well too, to assist in their field day. So we have, many of the mentors have already committed to be able to participate in either one of the 2 days that Glendale has planned for their field day. So, you know, from here, it's really the ball's in my court to kind of try to get this propelled and to have a little bit more of an impact. And right now, we're currently serving Carrollwood Intermediate and Glendale Primary. And obviously Columbus and Central, we had a couple students last year at Central that participated in the program, and because of some scheduling conflicts, we want to make sure that we have enough mentors with very flexible schedules to be able to meet the needs of all of our scholars, or as many as possible in the 4 elementary buildings. Again, to help bridge that connection. And it's a great opportunity for these young men to then give back and continue to pay it forward. They've received absolutely amazing praise from their interactions, being in their presence in the building. They lead every single day at Bedford High School with their actions, definitely speaking louder than their words. And this is what this is really all about. We talk a lot about relationships, but they have committed to giving back, developing and building relationships, and hopefully instilling and impacting our youngsters to see the possibilities that communication and collaboration truly presents to us when we work together. One of my favorite sayings or quotes is, "Sticks in a bundle are unbreakable." And it's truly what these young men embody in their personal lives and in school, and the impact that they bring into these sessions, these mentor sessions as well too. And then currently, right now we have three more sessions, and again, that spring fling. So we're going to be winding down the year, obviously, prior to graduation, and being able to then get set up for that summer training, and then move the program forward and get started at the very beginning of the year, in 2022 and 2023 school year. Any questions?
I don't think so. I turn it to you guys for the questions, but also, they still come in as freshmen, I think, for upperclassmen, or they stay with you multiple years, and I think at graduation, they still get cords?
Correct, yes, and thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Johnson, actually, yes. They are just, juniors and seniors are the students that provide the mentorship. So as juniors, they can begin, or as a senior as well, just depending. And they also will be receiving cord at graduation. I did skip over that note, I'm sorry. Yes, the cord at graduation, and their hours also get included into community service as well too. So yes, they will have the cord at graduation. Those are all set and ready to go.
Do you have any questions or comments?
Excellent job. I think this is an awesome group. My son has had the blessing to be able to be a part of it, and I think that's so amazing. Gentlemen, that you are even stepping up to help lead and be a face, to assist. My question is, are we also exploring these opportunities for our middle school boys? Because after sixth grade, they're stopping, but are we grooming those, you know, who have been through the program to now end up being these same young men when they get to the 11th and 12th grade?
That's a great question. Yes, the answer to that is yes. The idea is that the young mentees will be able to pay it forward once they enter the high school, and they would hopefully want to be able to participate as a mentor in the program. Bringing up Heskett, that is also part of the discussion, and something that we are not ignoring at all. That is something we want to be able to get into the elementary buildings and then right into Heskett as well too. So with the potential right now with not applicants but referrals for mentors, if there's a commitment, that is something, and if there's not, we'll seek some others, but that is still part of the plan moving forward to try to figure out that schedule with Heskett Middle School as well too, because then that will help provide as a great transition and not have that gap from 6th grade or 7th grade to 8th grade as well. And knowing that 6th grade is at Heskett as well, again, it will then bring in 6th through 8th grade as well too, potentially.
One thing I would say is, even though it's not a part of BMG, maybe that's something we can have Tyson Phillips come and talk about. He does have a male mentorship group going on that had kind of been established previously. Our goal, you know, going back to us being kind, focused, and committed, is to kind of blend these two. But we didn't want to stop one program, because whatever we can do to support kids and connect and establish relationships with kids is good for Bedford. So maybe Mr. Thompson, that's something that we could maybe ask Mr. Phillips to kind of come and talk about, but he does have a group at Heskett, and if there's ever students that are looking forward or in need of mentorship, I think that he would be welcoming, and he has a really good group going. So Mr. Thompson, maybe that's something that he can come and talk to you guys about as well, and then we can connect that in the future.
Sounds great.
Comment?
I got tons of comments, but not the time. But to you gentlemen especially, this is how you make a difference. This right here. It's how you make an impact in the world. So congrats to you. The entire vision is outstanding, and it will pay off. Keep going.
I would just like to say, I'm so proud of all of you, and I'm so glad that we have this program here at Bedford. And I just want to give a shout out to the families who have groomed these young men and have done a great job. And thank you, boys, for just stepping up, because it is so needed. Thanks to all of you. Thank you. All right, moving right along. Next on the agenda is item number 3, continuing contract presentation and recommendation. So 3.01, continuing contracts award. Dr. Johnson?
Thank you so much. Again, it's always great when we can talk about all the positive things that are happening, you know, in Bedford, in and out of the classroom. But at the end of the day, we all know that it's the instruction that's also going to make that difference, and the relationships that have been established. I can't take credit for the process. What I will tell you is that the process is very difficult in Bedford to get continuing contract. It is not a rubber stamp process and procedure. That's why you see very minimal number of educators that are able to obtain continuing contract. We do have individuals that have been in the district many, many years, not to say that they're not excellent teachers, but in addition to the state standards and requirements to become continuing contract, Bedford has a very high standard and bar to obtain this that has been established over the past couple of years. So as I call the individuals' names, I will talk or say a little bit about who they are and their accomplishments that have provided them with the opportunity to be awarded continuing contract in the Bedford City Schools. After this presentation, then we will kick it to the board to take a vote on these continuing contracts. So as I call your name, we do ask that you come forward to be recognized. Heather Keister. Heather Heather Keister is a science teacher at Bedford High School. She's been in the district for 20 years. Heather holds a master's degree from Baldwin-Wallace since May 2002. She's taught science at Bedford High School. Her district level committees consist of the district equity team, best practices and equity committee, teacher technology grant team. At the building level, she has participated in the building leadership team, AP squad, graduation committee, master scheduling committee, senior awards committee, testing committee, and the homework/grading committee. Additional services that she has taken on and appointments: National Honor Society advisor, co-advisor, instructional specialist in science, 11th grade class advisor, university-bound scholars outreach coordinator, instructional specialist in science, summer school teacher. She served on interview panels for science vacancies, after-school ACT course developer for 11th graders, commencement volunteer, senior checkout, Echo Earth Water Challenge advisor, and AP chemistry. So we want to thank you for your dedication to our students and your service. I always say your name wrong, Megan. Megan Cahoot. I would like to say, not that all of our other awardees, I know science is major, but this is where it all begins, Megan, in our preschool program. They run an outstanding preschool program. Just walking through and what you're able to do day in and day out, you should be commended for, especially during COVID. You guys, not everybody was committed, but there were times where we had to make some tough decisions, and I heard you and your colleagues day in and day out talk about, I'm gonna do whatever is best for kids. So I wanna thank you and your colleagues so much. Megan has served in the Bedford City School District for 13 years. She also holds a master's degree from Baldwin-Wallace as of May 2011. She also taught grades not only preschool through 2nd grade at Glendale Primary. District level committees. She serves on the district leadership team, the district equity team, employee recognition, and homework committee. At the building level, she served on the building leadership team, the social committee, curriculum mapping, and assessment team. She's assisted with the playground, requirements, expectation, and guidelines, and the garden club, which we know is a big theme for Miss Beach. The volunteer coordinator and volunteer breakfast, preschool PALS committee, healthy habits, grade level IET chair, and again, at the building level, the equity team committee for summer study. Additional supplementals, you are a supporter of the Glendale Run Club, the preschool fair, preschool parent night, and summer study curriculum establishment. So thank you again, Megan, for all that you do for our children. James Michaels. James is a health and physical education teacher at Heskett Middle School. You've served over 21 years in the Bedford City School District. I will tell you, walking through the buildings on some pretty tough days, you've really had some encouraging words from me, and I want to thank you for that. He holds a master's degree from Notre Dame in May 2017. He's taught health PE at Heskett Middle School and physical education at Columbus Intermediate School. He served as a district level chair at the calendar committee at the building level. He's done some summer studies for health and physical education, curriculum development and mapping. Serves on the building leader level team for shared responsibility in the African American Soul Food Festival. Additional services such as supplementals, coaching, tutoring, intramural coach at the elementary level, student leader co-advisor, intramural coach at the upper levels, student council co-advisor, co-student leader, 8th grade girls basketball coach, and after-school math tutoring. So again, we want to thank you for your time, your dedication, and your service. Miss Brianna McDonald. Brianna is a sixth grade ELA teacher at Heskett Middle School. She served 6 years in the Bedford City School District. Holds a master's degree from Cleveland State University, May 2015 and 2019. She's taught 6th and 8th grade ELA, 6th and 7th grade ELA, and math at Heskett Middle School. District level committees consist of the district leadership team, the gifted committee, website, and social media team. At the building level, she served on the building leadership team, PBIS committee, after-school homework and tutoring coordinator, the Washington, D.C. trip, parent-teacher conference coordinator, and class advisor. Additional services, supplementals, coaching positions, and tutoring consist of the 8th grade head volleyball coach, 7th grade girls basketball coach, website and media specialist, media team, social media team specialist, Saturday school teacher, home instructor tutor, resident educator mentor, and crisis prevention intervention team. So again, we want to thank you for your dedication, your time, and your service. Ms. Brandy Rigby. Again, everybody knows I'm a secondary person, but I don't know how you do it, Ms. Rigby. I know Ms. Boynton can relate with our little people, but she teaches kindergarten at Glendale Primary School, but you're always smiling in there. 10 years of service in the Bedford City School District. She holds a master's degree from American College of Education, September of 2019. She's taught kindergarten at Glendale and first grade at Central. District level committees consist of the district leadership team, district PBIS committee, assessing, developing committee with Bob Holman. Building level committees, the PBIS committee at Glendale and building leadership team, grade level chair for kindergarten. Additional services and appointments and coaching and tutoring supplementals consist of the multicultural coordinator, website and social media team, traditional teacher mentor, mentor teacher for practicums, a virtual summer school teacher, and PBIS summer studies to revise the PBIS matrix for the primary level. Again, we want to thank you, Ms. Rigby, for your time, your dedication, your care for our children. All right, Ms. Bakara Robinson. Ms. Robinson and I have gone back and forth this year. She's a Michigan fan and I was an Alabama fan, but still we're gonna award you tonight even though you're from the northern state. But Ms. Robinson is a health and physical education teacher at Heskett Middle School. She served our children for over 20 years in the Bedford City School District. She holds a bachelor's degree from University of Michigan since December of 2001. She's taught health and PE and advisory at Heskett Middle School. District level committees consist of the District Wellness Committee, Student Achievement Strategic Planning Committee. At the building level, she served on the Dale D. Heskett Committee, African American History Program and Soul Food Fest co-chair, Field Day Committee, Talent Show Committee, Fashion Show Committee, Return to School Hybrid Committee, and the Master Scheduling Committee. Additional services and supplementals, coaching, tutoring positions consist of the HPE Subject Area Coordinator, Compass Academy, and the Assistant Director for Drama Club. We want to thank you for your time and dedication. Last but not least, we have Mr. Rob Burkowski. Rob is known to us as Bob. And I want to tell you all I've heard about is how amazing of an AP teacher you are. Rob has served the district for over 20 years. And you've done a great job, and we want to thank you for that. You hold a master's degree from Cleveland State University as of May 2010. You taught African American history, African American world studies at Bedford High School. You served at Heskett Middle School in leadership positions, summer school principal, district level committees. You've been a mentorship co-chair, strategic planning facilities committee, PBIS, student handbook revision committee, building level committees, PBIS as well, and the building leadership team. Additional services such as, but not limited to, in coaching, the Success Academy coordinator. I know you guys did a great job with that during COVID and putting all of our tutoring programs together, which really helped our kids get over the hump. Student Senate advisory, test prep, faculty liaison for the department, summer school teacher, and soccer coach. We want to thank you, Ms. Rakowski, for your time, your dedication. So again, we want to just thank you all. And at this time, I'll turn over to the board, but right before executive session, we do have a little celebration snack for all of you, our educators and our students. But prior to that, I will turn it over to you, Ms. Wilmington.
All right, thank you. Could I have a motion, please, for approval for these continuing contracts?
Make a motion to approve contract?
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Lifford. Are there any discussion, any comments? I would just like to say that it is a big deal. I don't know if all of you know, it is a big deal to be recommended for a continuing contract. Thank you for your tenure. Thank you for your great service to our students here at Becker City School.
Thank you for your commitment, continued excellence to give to our students.
Thank you so much for all you've done for the kids, and very much appreciate your efforts.
Thank you very much. That's all of you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Ledford,
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes. Motion passed 5-0. Thank you.
All right, before we go and ask the board to, or you guys go into executive session, just one more recognition I want to do. I know we are not taking the vote yet, but that'll be a little bit later. But I do want to recognize or just provide an opportunity for everyone to meet our new head football coach who will be recommending to the board tonight. So at this time, as Mr. Toth could come forward. And I won't take too much time, but I just want to take this opportunity to just recognize you for your time, your dedication, also to our kids in and out of the classroom. Mr. Toth, the level of education and instruction that goes on in his classrooms, I know where he's here about football, but everybody knows that we talk about student athletes. Student comes first, and I know how important that is to you. We know how difficult it was during COVID and even prior to COVID for our students to get over the hump when it comes to that state report card. And you and your department went above and beyond and had excellent outcome on that state report card in terms of our students meeting the standards. What you bring to our district, your dedication and our love for our children should be noted. I'm not sure if Ms. Lewis will want to say anything, but I think our kids can speak to that. How you walking through the hallway, I see the interactions that are being made. it just should be commended, and it says a lot about who you are. I know everybody talks about your family and you coming from a long history of coaches, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you and the high expectations. One of the things I told Mr. Toth is a lot of times people want to talk about the superintendent. They want to talk about the high school principal, but at the end of the day, one of the top positions in our community is looking at you. So we talked about that board and the expectations, the level of expectations that are coming before you, and you say that you're ready to take that on. We'll hold you to that. I know you'll go above and beyond, but you know, it is my recommendation on behalf of Ms. Lewis and our athletic director that we are recommending to the board that you be hired as our new head varsity football coach. Again, I'm not sure if there's something you would like to say, Ms. Lewis?
No, seriously, I just want to echo a few of the things that Dr. Johnson said. Mr. Toth and I have had plenty of conversations throughout the years, not just now. He is definitely student first. He definitely shares the same vision that we all share and what we want to see for our students and our athletes. He absolutely understands the expectation. He understands the assignment. And I have total faith in Mr. Toth that he will do what it takes for our student athletes and for the community. And I absolutely recommend Mr. Toth for the head football coach.
Mr. Toth, anything you guys want to say?
Board of Education, Dr. Johnson, Ms. Lewis, Mr. Zafka, I really appreciate the recommendation. I want to take just some time to just thank some people that came here to show their support. I got a few players here, Cameron Bivey, I appreciate you coming, some other guys. Coach Travers, he's a teacher in the building. He will be, if things go well and get approved, he will be joining our coaching staff. That's a big push, is getting more teachers in the building that are also have that football background and will be joining our coaching staff. I think Coach Curry is here as well, and Coach Will. I just really appreciate these guys rallying behind me and putting their faith in me, believing in me to be the new head football coach. And then once again, just Ms. Lewis, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Zafka, putting your faith in me. I'm excited to win some football games, definitely, but overall, just improve the direction of our program with the big emphasis on student athletes and preparing these young men for not only life during high school, but life after high school as well. So once again, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to getting to work. I thank Mr. Charnello, too, for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Trey, and thank you, Dr. Johnson and Ms. Lewis. Next on the agenda is 4.01, and we will be going into executive session. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and compensation of the public employee.
I second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Akins. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mr. Lickford,
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes, motion passed 5-0. We will be coming back, and we're going to make this as quickly as possible, so we hope that you stay with us.
Yes, and in the back, we do have some celebration snacks back there with Ms. Phillips, the Human Resource Administrative Assistant, as well as some water, so you guys can enjoy that as we are in executive session. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be discussing this when we come back, so I just want to
a motion to exit executive session.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
And it's been moved by Ms. Birch, second by Mr. Woodford. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Lifford,
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes, motion passed 5-0. Thank you for your patience. We tried to finish this quickly as we could. We had some important items that we needed to discuss. So next on our agenda is the audience participation. I would just like to remind everyone that the audience participation is for those wishing to make public comment or comments regarding the resolutions on which the board will take action during this meeting. Participants will be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface their comments by an announcement of their name, address, and group affiliation when appropriate. Each statement made by participants shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. We do have two cards, and one is from Ms. Sharita Simon. Ms. Sharita Simon. Are you still here?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I got enough kids, so I don't want to be.
Could you please state your name and your address, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry. Sharita Simon, 32 East Gray Street, Bedford, Ohio. My name is Sharita Simon. I am a parent, a homeowner, and a taxpayer, and a staff member of Bedford City Schools. I came up here to address, touch bases on unfair discipline for our students without IEPs versus students with IEPs. My son had a physical altercation with a
Excuse me, Ms. Simon, it's so difficult to hear you. Somebody hear me?
Also, I'm not sure, what is the topic stated?
Would like to address,
Yeah, I would just say, we gotta just make sure, that, like, the first part of what you said, it might be, personally identifiable information
Okay.
in regards to another student, if that makes sense.
Right, I'm not saying any names.
But if there's any information that we could be, used to identify the other individuals, if you
So
kind
I'm
of
just
speak
speaking
around
to the
that.
students.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. My son had a physical altercation with a female student, which the female student started the physical altercation part. They both had the same amount of days. However, because of the student, she was given lesser days and allowed to return to school. My son was not. My son has never been in trouble since he's been in Bedford City Schools except for a cell phone situation on the school bus. That's it. Upon him being suspended on Friday, I was given the slip, and on the slip it said I can appeal. It was Friday, I was tired, and I was really trying to hear it, so I gave him the weekend to talk to my son and find out what happened. I returned to school Monday. I initiated a conversation with an administrator that initiated 5 days. She then offered me this new program you guys had. I told her I would let her know because I wanted to talk to the teacher who was in the room when my incident happened. I talked to her, then I came back to the administrator, and I asked for the appeal. I had the appeal, they upheld the appeal, okay? So, my question, the question that I want to address to the board, because I only got 3 minutes, why is the consequences of a first-time offender the same as a frequent offender? Shouldn't there be a progressive discipline policy for students like there is for staff? If it is the responsibility, isn't it the responsibility of staff and security to remove the student, not the student? What is the district's outlined progressive discipline policy, and are there SEL lessons being offered concerning appropriate physical contact with students that are the same gender and the opposite gender in the school setting? And if it is, I would like a copy as a parent and taxpayer.
if a student's discipline is reduced based on it being a manifestation, why is it the student allowed to be in class with general population? If a student physically assaults another student and that student defends themselves, why do they receive the same punishment? And is there a district discipline committee? And if there is, are parents a part of it? So those are my questions that kind of like based around the situation that happened, with my son. Since I can't really go into detail, but it's really more to it.
I'm not sure if you guys want to address it, but one, I think that it's probably imperative that you and I have a meeting sooner than later, but just in terms of a clarification, when we have situations like this, parents do have the right to have such discussions in executive session so that we can have a more open and free conversation about that. But prior to that, I highly suggest that there's a conversation, with the superintendent, as well as the administrators that were involved to kind of talk about some of the pieces and parts that you discussed. So if we could maybe set up a time tomorrow, I'll give you a call, or have my secretary give you a call so we can set up a time, somewhere around next week. If you want to stop by next week, I'll be around.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Well, Ms. Simon, one of my suggestions, if you could forward those questions to Dr. Johnson, so she can.
Actually, I got a copy from my purse.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
Stephanie Tabor? She has some concerns about our transportation department.
Good evening, my name is Stephanie Tabor. I am the Secretary for Bedford City Schools Transportation Department, 25441 Solon Road. My name is Stephanie Tabor. I'm the Transportation Secretary, and for over the last year in my position as Secretary, I have continued to drive a route in the morning and in the evening to help keep our department running. This also includes the chief mechanic, building custodian, mechanics, the transportation specialist, along with the supervisor of transportation at times. We juggle daily to meet the requirements and need of our department because of the lack of competitive wages and the small amount of hours that are guaranteed per day. No one is interested in the positions. You will have people come in and apply, but will leave and go to another district which offers more hours, money, and benefits. We've lost a large number of employees due to these circumstances. There has been times that we have had to deny transportation for athletic trips, field trips, and other activities that require the services of the transportation department. This only hurts our children to no fault of their own. We have been calling, getting the assistance of former employees that are still working as subs from time to time, which has been every day. We've reduced special education routing and have hired private transportation companies to cover these routes, which cost a huge amount of money. Drivers are also interested in straight pay, not flex pay. Another concern is different daycares that we deal with are not complying with the rules by not being there to send the students out to the bus on time or to receive them on time. When you drop the children off, they are running all over the parking lot, and it's not always safe for us to pull off because the kids are running all over and not going to their designated place of safety or directly into the daycares. We are blocking major streets and intersections because of this. And yes, we have repeatedly reached out to the daycares trying to resolve these issues. I'm not going to mention the names of any daycares because I don't want to blemish anyone. My last concern, how is it that our district goes from one of the top districts around with the highest pay to one of the lowest, if not the lowest paid, without benefits for those working less than 6 hours? If they want insurance, it is astronomical. It is starting to take a toll on many of our transportation and other classified members, and they are leaving our district in high numbers. I don't want to leave the district. My family has been in the district for 5 generations. I am here asking for help from the board so that we can all work together and save our district. I love my district. It sickens me to see it falling apart. I am working, doing 4 times the work I used to, along with other employees. It is taking a toll on our department and drain our morale. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you all take everything that you are hearing here today into consideration when you are negotiating our next contract. Thank you.
Board President, Vice President, board members, I just want to tell you that, all of our OPC members work very hard, but I will tell you, I cannot imagine, what you feel and what you experience, and I will not pretend to. But this is an organization, a part of OPC, in addition to our nutrition services, that they have not stopped working during COVID. Whatever we have needed, they have responded to. So I just want to thank you, personally, on behalf of my leadership team, that we value who you are and what you do for our children. You have a tough, tough job. So I thank you. And I cannot disagree with anything that you said. I'm not permitted to direct deal with any organization, but I will tell you, Mrs. Boynton, these are hard-working individuals. They love our children. The day starts and ends with you. And I think that that's sometimes forgotten, what you see and what you deal with on a daily basis is huge. So I can't disagree, Mrs. Boynton, that it is administration's position that we can do better and we need to do better for every employee in our district, and sometimes you are forgotten, and that is unacceptable.
I just want to say that I've been in the district for a long time, and I understand what you're going through. I'm going to talk to Pat. I can't get paid, but you might think I'm crazy, but I will volunteer 3 days a week to help you guys out, because you got to get the kids to school. And at the rate we're going, it's a disaster. So I will volunteer. I'm going to talk to Pat. I'll volunteer Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to come drive for him, because I'm licensed. And maybe that'll bring some more people in to help out, because we got to figure this out. So I will be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as a volunteer, so I'm not getting paid for it. So if y'all want to take me to lunch, that's fine.
I will tell you, my husband will tell you, don't let me to do this, but I will join you in that. If I need to get whatever I need to get, to do what I need to do to help your department out, I will encourage every other administrator in the district to do the same thing, but I can't sit there and let you just do what you just said you're gonna do without doing my part.
Thank you.
I would just like to say thank you for coming up, and the entire team. We do appreciate you, the Board of Education appreciate you, and for keeping our children safe. There's an area that we will be looking into, and I think one of the things you said was, one of the statements was, I love my district, I don't want to leave. We don't want you to leave.
We don't want you to leave. Please don't leave.
Thank you so much.
All right, next on the agenda is item number 6.01. Memorandum of Understanding for the provision of the SRO services. And monitor placement between the Bedford City School District, Board of Education, and the City of Bedford Heights at Heskett Middle School for a period of 3 years. I would like to have a motion to approve this MOU. Have a second, please.
Second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Ms. Macklin. Do we have any discussion? If not, roll call, please, Bill.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ledford,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes, motion passed 5-0. The next item on the agenda is our first reading of policy 5630.01. This is our first reading of the positive behavior intervention and support and limited use of restraint and seclusion. There is no vote on this tonight. This is our first reading. Item number 7 is our consent agenda. 7.01, consent agenda. Can I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda as it is presented?
Move to approve.
Have a second, please?
Second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Aiken. Any discussion?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lippert. Can't tell those deep voices over there. Mr. Lippert, I'm sorry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please, Bill.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mr. Ledford,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes. Motion passed 5-0. And in that consent agenda, that now, Mr. Jones, we can actually come in because you have been approved as the new coach for the Baptist City School District. And so we appreciate you being selected. We appreciate all that you do and all those fine words and accolades that you received earlier. And all I can say is keep up the good work and bring us away this season and go Bearcats.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Go Bearcats. You know, now that I've seen you inside the classroom as well as on the field, and I feel that you can step up to what's going to be there for our children to help you. So, it's all on you.
You definitely stand behind you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is item number 8, review of the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 school calendar. It is just for review, and this and the following exhibits that's on our agenda. It is not for approval tonight. Item number 9, superintendent's report and recommendation. Dr. Johnson.
Thank you. Under 9.01, excuse me, under 9.01, you will find some job descriptions that I'm asking for the board to consider. It has been a pleasure and honor, as I've said before, to serve in this role the past several weeks as interim superintendent, and just kind of assess the district as a whole based upon those assessments. And I believe the necessity to be not only fiscally responsible, but ensure that we're doing our best on the front lines of serving our students. I'm recommending in the process of reorganization that these new job descriptions be considered. I don't believe that, I can accept the structure as is, based upon the needs in the classroom. So therefore, there are going to be some consolidations of top positions and a reallocation of funds at the building level. And in order to do that in a fiscally responsible manner, I bring before you these 4 recommendations.
All right, and so I make a motion to move forward with the restructuring process and to delegate authority to the superintendent and or designate to take the interim steps in restructuring with these following job descriptions. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
It has been moved by the president and second by Ms. Burke. Could I have Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, can we please, call the roll?
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mr. Lifford?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
I move to close this discussion pending the next steps. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
It has been moved by the president and seconded by Ms. Birch. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Lifford?
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0. Item number 9.02, personnel items.
Yes, under 9.02, I first would like to start off with a recommendation, for Mr. Christopher Thompson to serve as the middle school principal, at Heskett. Mr. Thompson, this is your third year in the district. You came to us at a very trying time, and, your dedication, your care for our students has not gone unnoticed. COVID's been rough, but anything that we've asked of him, Mrs. Boynton, Vice President and board members, he stepped up to the plate and he's done it. He is a team player. He volunteered in a very difficult time in the middle of the school year to go to Heskett Middle School. He comes to us with a wealth of knowledge and experience at the middle school level, so I highly recommend that he continue to serve as the Heskett Middle School principal. In addition to that, Mr. Humphreys has served as our supervisor of technology. With that being said, I know that you also approved tonight a huge loss to the district with Mr. Meyer. And he has done a great job of working with Dan to prepare him to step up and continue in this role. Dan, you've done an amazing, amazing job. And so we want to thank you as well. We've added a lot of technology on behalf of the board and your support. And you kept us moving and going over this past year. So we appreciate that. And I highly recommend you continue to serve in this role. The next piece here is Colleen Jackson. I want to tell you my thoughts and prayers are with her and her family tonight. There was a medical emergency in her family with her brother, so please keep her in your thoughts and your prayers. But Colleen has served in this district, I think, for over 15 years. Prior to coming here, she had served as a superintendent's executive secretary in another district. When she came on to her current role, she was only given step 2. And I believe that it is imperative that we make things right and give her the experience that she deserves by placing her at step 7. Mr. Colbert serves as our School of Promise Linkage Coordinator. He's done a great job over the past couple of years. It's been tough during COVID, but this is a grant-funded position. He and the organization have come before you and shared some of the feedback from the students and family members as well as their trips. And the grant through the Closing Achievement Gap funding source has increased the budget for his salary. They set the salary, but the money filters through our district, so he is on the agenda for that salary increase.
Thank you. Could I have a motion for the approval of the administrative contracts and the tentative assignments that were aforementioned?
Motion.
Second. It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Akins. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Gil.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Lifford?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes, motion passed 5-0. Next on the agenda is 9.03.
I'm sorry, Ms. Sweeney. I didn't know if Mr. Thompson.
Oh, you know what? I'm very, very sorry. I am not going to rush you. Thank you so much. Johnson. I'm sorry.
Yes, I didn't know if there was anything that Mr. Humphrey and Mr. Thompson would like to say this evening.
Madam President, Madam Vice President, rest of the board, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Parkinson. Again, I just want to say thank you for allowing me the experience to serve last year, this current school year, and for trusting in me, moving into the future. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to James Meyer. You have been a huge role model and mentor for me as I've come into this leadership role, so thank you, and best of luck on your next experience. Thank you, everybody.
Board President Boynton, board members, Dr. Johnson, very, very humbled by your confidence, your support. I know when I came to Bedford, I was very drawn to Bedford. It was very similar to the district that I came from. And it was a challenge, but I like challenges. And I'm all about being a team player. And I know the thing that's really big with Bedford is it's a community and it's a family. I haven't done this by myself. By any means, it's a great administrative team and staff at the high school. There's a great administrative team and staff at Heskett Middle School. I'm excited to continue the changes that we're making and to bring Heskett back to, not to bring it back to make Heskett better than what it was before. So again, I'm very grateful, very thankful, and appreciate your confidence in me. Thank you.
I think I was probably blindsided a little bit because you guys have just been here. You've been in those positions. It's just, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is just renewing the contract. But you know what? You guys have done such a great job. And I think I shared it with you, Mr. Thompson, a lot, just stepping in, just saying, you know what, I'll go there. I'm at Heskett. I can fill in. I can do this. I mean, it's a great, it was good. You put our children first. And I really do appreciate that. So it was a great pleasure to actually approve this position for you. And what can I say, Dave? Man, I tell you, you just stepped in, you just took over, did what you needed to do. And I'm always asking for technology 101 or technology for dummies because I am not technology savvy. And so you were there helping us all along the way, so we really appreciate it. And you guys, and that whole department has done a fantastic, fantastic job. So we were very pleased to actually approve this your contract tonight. And James, I was actually waiting after your presentation, so we will talk to you after the next item on the agenda. All right? And this item 9.03, presentation and resolution declaring urgent necessity of the Heskett roof. So, you ready for that?
Madam President, Madam Vice President, Dr. Johnson, can you hear me okay? I have with me Brian and Chris from West Roofing, and I am thrilled to be able to present this tonight. This presentation will provide a solution to the leaking roof at Heskett Middle School, and we have a great product. We've done a lot of work to move forward with this. As you know, in late 2021, and as many of you know from being in the district for a long time, Heskett has kind of been known as the leaky building. We have many times thought that by now in our master facilities plan, Heskett wouldn't be here. But given COVID and the events of the last half decade, we have Heskett now, and we have students there, and those students deserve to be warm, safe, and dry. And so in the fall, we had that area surveyed. So the roof was surveyed, and they found 75 wet areas. And Garland and Pemco, who did the survey, said that the roof will only get worse, is at risk of complete failure. It's surpassed its life expectancy, and action is recommended. So action we took. We started by repairing leaks, but we knew that wasn't going to be a long-term solution. And so we looked at possibly replacing that roof. Those estimates from fall of 21 were coming in right around $2.7 million. And that was before the shortages that we've experienced now, and before the availability of roofing materials and the hard-to-find labor. Those prices had grown tremendously. So the next step was to find a solution that would work. We were concerned about the structure of Heskett. So we had GPD group come out and do a structural analysis of that roof deck to make sure that if we fixed the roof, it would last for as long as we needed it to. We were also concerned about additional water damage, air quality, and in a traditional roof, the materials would not arrive prior to the 22-23 school year. So with the help of Dr. Johnson and Mary Mays, our consultant, we found West. And West has a solution called, it's a polyurethane product. And they're here to answer questions and explain a little bit more about it if you have them. But what this product will do will allow us to pour a polyurethane base coat on top of the roof that will be warranted for 20 years, which will allow us to move forward with all of our HVAC improvements that we're currently working on, as well as internal improvements to make that building go from one of the most concerning facilities we have to one of the most functional. Best news is that product installation can start June of 22, meaning June 6th of 22 this year, we can start getting that roof solution put on. The 20-year warranty, and West Solution meets the recommendations of the GPD group that they will remove the moisture detected areas so that there is no moisture under the old roof that can continue the degradation of that metal deck. And they'll ensure that deck is dry underneath so that it will last the duration. I have a couple examples just to show you. My presentation was a little bit longer. I'm going to speed it up a little bit just for the sake of time. But if you look at Lakeview School District, Oakview Elementary, this is an example of their product. So you go from what was the traditional built-up roof to this. And I'd like Brian or Chris to explain a little bit about that process. And if you have any questions for them, please let them know. And the resolution that we'll be asking for you to make a motion on this evening is to declare this an urgent necessity so that we can move forward with the procurement process. And before I turn it over, I just want to say one thing about funding. Our team really came together to make this happen tonight. Dr. Johnson, our attorneys from Squire, Pat and Boggs, Matt and Erica. We had Karen and Sarah from the Ohio Department of Education. We had Mr. Elder. We had Candy Joyner. All of us were on a call together saying, how do we make sure that funding is secure for this? And we are on track to put a budget revision in place so that we can pay for the entire price of this roof through ESSER funds without having to dive into the general fund. So that is tremendous news, and I'm so thrilled to be able to offer that here tonight. And with that, I'll turn it over to Brian and Chris just to kind of explain how the process will work and answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for your time tonight. Real quick synopsis about this. Your particular building, the roof surface will get cleaned off, get all the gravel removed off of there. All of the wet areas that have been detected, and there has been a moisture survey done, those will get removed down to the deck. We assisted GPD in performing the core samples. We inspected over 20-some areas up there. So the moisture will be removed, area will be infilled, and then a spray applied polyurethane foam roof system will be applied to the prepared surface. The coating system that can be applied on there can either be a 10, 15, or 20-year system. We provided options. This is going to be a Carlisle roof foam and coatings product and a warranty. The for this system. Spray polyurethane foam is a closed cell product. Insulation values are very high with this product. In a nutshell, I really, if there's any questions, it'd probably be better. It's lightweight as well. The system also, I want to mention, is renewable. After your warranty has expired, typically what you can do is clean these surfaces off, pressure wash them, and apply just the coating system and extend your warranty once again. We have done this system in several school districts. In Northern Ohio, we worked all over the country. We have offices in Alabama and Georgia. So personally, I've been with West Roofing Systems for 40 years doing this system. So it's very recognized. We are the leaders, one of the leaders in the country doing this system. If there's anything I could answer for you, I'd like to do that.
Any questions for it?
Mrs. Boynton, the only thing I wanted to also clarify in terms of the ESSER funds, I know many of our community members would ask, like, why now? When we were talking about our facilities and the need. The bottom line is that even though we are working on a facilities plan to update our schools, that won't happen in a year. It won't be done in 5 years. We don't even know if it's going to be done in 10 years. That's a long process. And our kids need a safe, dry, instructional setting now. In addition to that, it had always been a part of the facilities plan prior to my leadership that Heskett would be utilized in some shape or form as the process was done to get new buildings by utilizing Heskett as swing space. So either way, we were going to have children in that building and we would need a safe, dry place for them to be. So I just wanted to make that note to our community and again, just kind of re-emphasize that that is what these funds are for, is for us to provide a safe, clean air environment for our children as a result of COVID-19. And we would not be able to do this in this manner and stay debt-free if we didn't have these ESSER funds. But as James said, by us coming together, working as a team, along with the Ohio Department of Education, we are able to continue to maintain the fiscal responsibility that we've established of us being a debt-free community by using the ESSER funds.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. We have any questions for it?
Wow, this is the material. Does it just repel water or does it absorb?
No, it repels.
And you said everything will be sprayed down to the deck and then it's sealed in on top and then sprayed over?
Yeah,
Is that a process?
the picture that you saw at the beginning of the presentation, that was actually up Heskett, and there was a gravel ballast on top of that roof. That'll all be removed. And then, so that picture there, what you see is a gravel ballasted roof system. And then, Jamie, if you don't mind, could you go to the infrared scan? So those areas have been identified as wet. Those areas will be removed down to the deck.
What about from the
They've been identified as wet, there's moisture there, so those areas have been identified, they will be removed. One thing I would like to offer to you is, we are willing to give the district surveys of all your buildings if you would like. Once we get going through this process, we're happy to survey your other buildings for you as well. And we can provide you reports.
Any other questions for it? Well, thank you so much. You do have a question?
With that material, how does that work in terms of installation? Insulation. Will that still be able to deal with the snow and weight of snow and stuff?
Yes, very, very much so. It's a closed cell, high density product. The insulation is going to help this school out to save money for your heating and cooling needs.
When you look at those spots that have moisture, those have an R value of pretty much 0 once there's moisture in it. So that is not retaining any heat. He's just flowing kind of, if you picture, just right through those spots. So by taking those out and replacing them and then putting this service on top, it's gonna save us a lot of money in heating costs and air conditioning as well.
Any more questions? Comments? Thank you. Thank you so much. And we really do appreciate you coming out and thank us. I do have it. Yes, I do. Thank you, James, so much. I would like to have a motion for the approval of the resolution.
I make a motion to approve.
And a second.
All right, I make a motion declaring an urgent necessity exists and authorizing executive execution of a contract with West Roofing Systems Incorporated outside of statutory competitive bidding procedures for the procurement and installation of a replacement roof at Heskett Middle School.
Second, please.
I second.
It has been moved by Mr. Akins and second by Ms. McInerney. Any discussion? I would just like to say it's time. It's time. I look. When I look at those, when you walk in the Heskett, the buckets look like part of the furniture. So they have been stable there for a while, so really appreciate that we're moving on this now because our children do deserve to come in a place and feel safe and warm and not water dropping all over the place. So I thank you, James, so much for actually rectifying this before you leave. So I really appreciate it. And that's all I have to say. I'm just glad to see this is finally happening. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Lippert? Yes. Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes, motion passed 5-0. And since we are, this might not be the best time, but I want to say it now. James, we appreciate everything that you have done for this, our school district. When I first became a board member, you were just so sweet and kind to me. I was like, that guy is really, really nice. You didn't make me feel dumb when it came to just even just setting up my Google email, and I said, oh, I want to do this, and he goes, oh, that's not it. I've even called you at home and said, James, it's not working anymore. What's happening? And you walked me through it. So I really do appreciate everything that you've done for us, and I only wish you the best wherever you go. And I know that you're going to do a good job wherever you are, and just continue to be kind. You're a very kind person. Thank you.
You are very kind, so thank you for your time, your commitment that you have provided and given. So best wishes and blessings to you.
Thank you for the support you've given us in our short time being on the board, and I want to say good luck on your next trip.
Thank you for everything you've done, and I wish you well.
Just met you not long ago. But all the best to you, certainly, and enjoy.
Well, it has been a very long evening, very productive evening. Had some good, and some good. You know, it's always so nice to have some good stuff to report on the agenda. And I thank all of you for staying the course at 6 o'clock. And so at this time, I am asking for a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Can I have a second, please?
I second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Ms. Thacker. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mr. Lippert? Yes. Mrs. Boynton?
Yes, motion passed 5-0. Thank you all for coming out. This meeting is adjourned.